to the 5-element flow routine, where we practice the generative cycle of the 5 elements of traditional Chinese medicine. And we work on the physical, emotional, and mental aspects of those elements. You'll find it to be a very healing practice, so enjoy, and we'll get started now. Let's begin by dropping into starting position. Posture, centering posture is so important in Qigong. You can't see my feet, but they're about shoulder width apart, facing forward. Just get nice and stable on your feet. Let your knees become relaxed, slightly bent, and then tilt your pelvis slightly forward so you really feel gravity pulling on your pelvic floor. And this is a nice way to reduce the pressure on your lower back as well. Now roll your shoulders up and around. Let's do that again. Inhale your shoulders up. Exhale your shoulders down, and just sense how that releases tension, where we really tend to hold it. Pull up from the crown of your head like an invisible string is pulling you toward the sky, and just let your whole body hang from the structure of your skeleton. And just check in with how you are now, and perhaps an intention that you have for this practice today. It's always good to know where you're starting from. And we'll begin after this centering posture with some deep, regular breathing. So just bring your hands to your lower belly. Your hands are just here to sense the movement. So inhale, let your belly expand. Exhale, and relax toward your spine. Inhale, and sense your belly expanding like a balloon, filling with air. Exhale slowly, and just squeeze that exhale out completely. Let it go. Breathe at your own pace, deeply and slowly. This is also called diaphragmatic breathing or diaphragmic breathing. And we're moving the diaphragm down as the belly expands, and then back up toward the lungs as we relax. So really working these muscles so we keep them in shape, and also giving the lungs more room to breathe. And one other benefit is that we're lightly massaging now some of our organs. A lot that we're doing with this breathing. Just bring your attention to your breath coming through your nose all the way down into your lower belly. Just really feel the breath moving through your body, increasing the energy in your body. A lot of people do yoga routines, Qigong routines. Really the most important thing you can do throughout the day is just check your posture. Make sure you are where your feet are. And just breathe slowly and deeply. Just watch your breath. Very nice. And now let's knock on the door of life to activate more energy. We're just pumping our knees and allowing that to give us the momentum to turn from the waist. So we're not shifting weight, we're just turning from unwinding the lower spine. And then just letting our hands move with a lot of flexibility and relaxation. And just try to peek over your shoulder more and more, just improving your range of motion. You might sense energy moving up your spine like little champagne bubbles. Your organs waking up both from the twisting and the tapping, especially those kidneys in the lower back, the door of life, your internal energy battery. And also maybe some of the organs like your liver, your stomach, your digestive system. And now bring your loose fist up to right under the clavicle. They're very important lung points. Enjoy the sound. And just a sense of opening up the lungs even further. We did some belly breathing. Now we're opening up the upper front of the lungs. Activating even more energy. And now come back down to the waist. And slow it down. Yeah, just check in for a moment. Notice how your body is now. You might feel some tingling, buzzing, lightness. All signs that you're starting to energize your body. So let's go through some stretches now, and we'll start with neck circles. Just rest your hands on your lower back. Pull your elbows back and your shoulder blades together, and you can keep your knees slightly bent and just feel the stretch across your upper chest. We tend to hold a lot of tension in these pectoral muscles, especially as we sit with hunched shoulders on computers. This is a nice way to stretch in the other direction. And now we're going to unwind tension in the neck. So just start to make a circle. You can imagine making a circle with your nose. Your chin can drop down to your chest. When you come up, you want to keep that head straight. You don't want to lean it back because that can be hard on those vertebrae. So just nice and gently make some nice circles. Inhale through your nose as your head comes up. Exhale through your mouth as your chin comes to your chest. Keep those shoulder blades together. Keep that stretch in the upper chest. Nice long stretch. You might feel or hear some crunching in your neck. As long as you don't feel any pain, that's all okay. Just imagine warm oil lubricating those joints. In Qigong, we say motion is the lotion. So moving all the muscles and ligaments in the neck so we can keep that range of motion. And now go in the opposite direction. Inhale and exhale. Unwinding any little knots. Just bring your attention to your neck. Keep the stretch going in your upper chest. And just feel everything opening up. Very subtle, but it can make a very big difference in how you feel at the end of the exercise. Very nice. Neck circles. Now we're going to do a stretch called separating heaven and earth that stretches the torso and the arms, and start in a knee bent position, back of the palms facing each other. And I'm actually going to change how the camera is focused so you can see me better. Okay, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then as you stand up and spiral your hands, exhale through your mouth and lean and stretch. And you feel the stretch all throughout your torso and arm. And then nice and soft, spiral, inhale. Exhale and lean to the other side. In Qigong, we always stretch with flow, so just feel the flow of this stretch. Separating earth or the sky. So your upper hand faces the heavens and your bottom the earth. And you can just imagine creating more space between all your organs, between your ribs, between your vertebrae. Stretching, dilating all the energy meridians, opening everything up so energy can flow more freely. And just see if you can, every time, make that stretch even farther, that lateral stretch of the spine. Nice deep inhale, exhale, any tension. Let's do this a few more times. One more set. Exhale and feel that whole left side stretching and opening up. And now we'll finish with the right side. Inhale. I'm mirroring you, by the way, throughout this whole exercise. Yeah, now come back to starting position. And the last thing we're going to do from a stretching standpoint is kind of open up the hips. Sometimes it's nice to tap the hips first. Women especially, we tend to hold a lot of tension here. So just tap right in the front of the hips, and if you feel a little jolt, keep tapping there. And just imagine, and now go to your sides and go down a little, wherever it feels good. And just imagine you're opening up these joints so the energy can move freely. Very nice. And now just bring your hands to your hips. Bend your knees slightly as you bring your hip around. We're going to start doing hip circles and then bring them to the front, to the side, and then back around. And you can imagine that you're standing in a barrel and touching every part of your hips to the outside of that barrel. You'll notice some stiff areas. Maybe one side is harder than the other to move. That's okay. Just do the best you can. And here the breathing is inhaling as the hips come forward, and then nice exhale through the mouth as your hips come back. And if you ever start feeling dizzy, exhaling can make you feel dizzy, exhaling CO2. Just exhale through your nose. And again, just imagine that you're lubricating your hips with warm oil, everything opening up, releasing your lower back, releasing your hip joints. And now, as always in Qigong, we always do both directions. Go in the opposite direction. Inhale and then exhale through your mouth. Nice and loose and easy. Try to enjoy this movement. Feel things opening up. Feel your range of motion increasing. You'll notice that your knees and your ankles are also somewhat involved in this. So just pay attention to those parts of your body and imagine all those joints opening up and getting lubricated as well. Very nice. So now let's do our last energy activation before we go into our flows. We're just going to do some shaking it out. Let your knees start bouncing, pumping. Keep your palms facing your thighs and then just let your wrists go. You're not actively making your wrists shake. You're just letting your shoulders and wrists hang and then see what happens. And now bring your attention to the cranial sacral pump. So top of your neck down to your sacrum, along your back, and just imagine moving all sorts of fluids around, energy around, and just continuing to release tension with your out breath. So inhale deeply through your nose, and exhale nice and audibly. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, and shake it out. Really shake it out. 1 more time. Inhale deeply through your nose. Very nice. And just check in and notice the response of your energy system. You might really feel some buzzing, especially in your hands, kind of a showering down of energy, tingling, pulsating, all sorts of things. Wonderful. Now we're ready to start moving into our 5-element flow. And we'll begin with Buddha holds up the earth. I'll adjust the camera a little bit. Get into a nice solid starting position. And now let your hands float up in front of you and then push up. And then come back down. Again, let your hands float up, palms up, and then turn them, and then push up like you're pushing up on a ball. And also while you're doing this, bring your thumbs forward to get those lung meridians, which go along the top of your arms, really opened up. And then palms facing your chest to warm up your lungs. And I always like to have a little flourish at the end so I can really feel that density and that energy. Floating soft hands up, spiral, push up, give that a little stretch and a pause, and then come back down. You can imagine the palms of your hands warming your lungs. Knees are slightly bent to give yourself some stability. Buddha holds up the earth. A nice deep inhale through your nose as your hands push up, and then exhale through your nose as your hands float down. You can breathe at your own pace. Try to make that exhale a bit longer than the inhale. One of the best ways to breathe nice and deep is to just focus on that exhale and let the inhale come in naturally. Fill up your belly, your ribs, your chest. Nice deep inhale through your nose, and then relax from your chest, ribs to your belly, and squeeze that exhale out completely and let it trail off. So in Buddha holds up the earth, we're working on the metal element. You can think of it as your gold, right? Your pure energy, which is really characterized by the breath the most. And the organ that we focus on as we're doing this is the lungs, both lungs, the left and the right lung. Fairly large organ that fills up the front of your chest and is slightly larger and longer in the back of your chest. Some of you may know that if you would fold out your lungs in terms of breathing capacity, they would fill up a football field. So inhale into that. Inhale into a football field's worth of square footage. Right? Lungs also tend to hold on to sadness, disappointment, even grief. Just notice what your lungs are holding on to. This movement transforming those emotions to a sense of commitment and courage. Right? right? So you can feel sad and committed to your next step at the same time. This movement helping to transform that emotion of sadness to courage and commitment. As you inhale, you can imagine a bright white light filling up your lungs. That's the color of the metal element. Inhale bright white light into every part of your lungs. And feel that light getting brighter and brighter, stronger and stronger as you breathe. This movement really helping with the elongation of the breath. You can even imagine a column of white light mirroring the light that's inside you as you move. The metal element, the breath, being the best place to start to generate this healing cycle in the body. Very nice. Now we're going to move into our next element, our next movement called the fountain. So just bring the back of your hands together, pull up on your midline, along your midline, and then just let your hands float out into circles. Bend slightly, and then pull up, and just let your hands naturally move out into circles. You're not really moving your fingers anyway, they kind of just stay nice and soft, so you can feel the energy. Pull up slightly, and you can feel your chi, feel your energy as you do that, and then come back down. The fountain, embodying the water element, that sense of soft and strong, moving with the quality of water, relaxed, a sense of moving stillness. Again, inhale through your nose as your hands come up. And exhale through your nose as your hands come back down. The key is to move nice and slowly. And you can bring your attention to your kidneys. Just inhale deeply through the back of your lungs, down into your kidneys. Organs in your lower back, to the left and to the right. In Qigong, this is the internal energy battery of the body. So just imagine you're filling up the kidneys with all the energy that you need. Kidneys tend to hold on to anxiety, stress. And this movement, especially the circles that we're painting with our hands, often serve to calm the body down so you can move into a sense of peace and tranquility, or at least more peace than you did before. And as you inhale through your nose, just imagine a beautiful blue watery light moving through your lungs down into your kidneys. And just imagine that light getting stronger and stronger, brighter and brighter as you breathe. Each of the elements has an organ and a color and an emotion that we work on. So every movement works on the whole, the physical, emotional, and mental aspects. And really, moving in Qigong, it's like a moving mindfulness. We're helping bring the mind's attention to something in the present moment. And this movement in particular helps us do that. The fountain, very nice. Water element. Water generates wood in Chinese medicine, so now we'll move into a movement called tree swaying. So just turn to your left. I'm mirroring you. Pull your fingers up your side, and then turn to the center, having made kind of a heart pattern, your fingers pointing toward the crown of your head, and then just let your hands come out, palms facing up and then palms facing down. And then turn to the other side. Pull your fingers up, turn to the center, palms up and then palms down. Tree swaying. So we're embodying the wood element here. Tree is a nice thing to think about, being strongly rooted and stable on the bottom half of your body, nice and flexible and relaxed in the top half. Both flexibility and strength add to make us resilient. Inhale through your nose as your hands pull up, and exhale through your nose as you come to center. So it's quite a long exhale, because you don't inhale until you turn. So just see if you can do that or move at your own pace. And the organ that we bring our attention to when we're working the wood element is the liver. Liver is located on the right side of your body. You can just imagine squeezing that organ now, squeezing the liver. And the liver meridians go along both sides. So we're also squeezing the liver meridian on the left side. So you can get more and more range of motion. Inhaling your hands up. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose as your hands come down. The liver often holds on to feelings of anger or frustration. It's that kind of bad taste in your mouth feeling. And we can transform those emotions into creativity, a sense of satisfaction at having come through a hard time. In traditional Chinese medicine, emotions are negative and positive, but not necessarily bad or good. So we're just trying to bring our attention to the negative that an organ may hold on to and just gently nudge that positive emotion to bring balance. And now as you bring your attention to your liver, imagine it filling with bright green light, the color of fresh grass. And just sense that color becoming brighter and brighter, stronger and stronger as you move and as you breathe. Inhale bright green light into your liver. Very nice. And let's just take a moment to do a standing posture here, one of my favorite postures. This is called embracing the tree. And just rest your hands in front of your heart and let your elbows hang down. Make sure your shoulders are dropped down. And just sense the energy between your hands and your heart. Inhaling deeply through your nose. Exhaling slowly through your nose. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and just have this sense of your body as a container. After many of these flows now, just have this sense of tonifying, filling up the container of your body with energy of all kinds, working together, generating health and healing. And just keep this connection with the heart. We're moving into the fire element, and the heart is the organ which characterizes that element. So just drop your left hand down, fingers facing downward, and then just turn to your right. Switch your hands so that the other opposite hand is facing your heart, and turn. And the key here is to shift the weight. So shift your weight now to the right side and turn. And then switch your hands, shift your weight again and turn. A nice way to breathe through this is to inhale through your nose when you go to one side, exhale through your nose as you go to the other side. And this can feel like dancing. The fire element is the energy of lightness and enjoyment. So just try to feel that happening in your body. You're dancing with your light, dancing with your heart. We're also working those abs with this twisting motion. And when you're doing this, just imagine you have a rod connecting your heart to that opposing hand, and then the other hand, like you're pulling your fingers through water. This is a classic Tai Chi move. If you've ever watched a group of Chinese doing Tai Chi, you've probably seen this movement. And the point of cloudy hands is to watch our emotions passing like clouds and not getting too attached to any of these emotions. Unlike the other organs, which tend to hold on to negative emotions, the heart holds on to this sense of innate joy or loving kindness. And just allow yourself to tap into that as you do this movement. That joy is always there inside us. And try to go just a little faster. Just feel energy lightening even further, spreading around you. And now slow it down and just notice what cloudy hands is like now. Bring your attention to your heart. And as you breathe and as you move, imagine beautiful red light glowing in the center of your heart. And imagine that color getting stronger and stronger and brighter as you move, as you dance. Very nice. So we've gone through 4 elements. The metal element generates water, which generates wood, which generates fire. So the last element is earth. And this next movement is called Pebble in the Pond. Really focus on your feet. Make sure they're firmly planted. Bring your hands in front of you and just pull your hips back. Notice how that makes your fingers come forward and And then pull your hips to the front and bring your hands back around. And turn and just pull your hands as they're being pulled, like they're being pulled through water in a pond, and then kind of feel that circle as you come back to your center. Slowly spiraling your hands, and really focusing on the movement from the center, moving everything else. So just notice how when your hips glide back, your hands naturally move forward. One thing moving everything. Exhale through your nose as your hands move out. Inhale through your nose as they come back to center. Nice and slow. Move at your own pace. And here you can bring your attention to your stomach, which is what's connected to the earth element. And that sense of being grounded and centered. The stomach can hold on to worry and rumination, apprehension and concern. Just notice if you're holding on to any of those emotions, which we can transform into balance, groundedness, stability, centeredness. Keep your hands nice and soft so you can feel your chi, have the energy move you. And just imagine a beautiful, warm, yellow light sparkling off this pond, and pull that color into your center as you inhale. And watch that yellow light get brighter and brighter and stronger as you pull it in. Working with that healing earth element. And here you may be looking at me to see the motion, but just let your eyes fall down to the earth. Just notice how you can sense that energy as then you pull back up. You can feel kind of ooey, gooey, and dense. Pebble in a pond. Very nice. So we've worked on all the 5 elements. At the end of almost every Qigong routine, we always do something called pulling down the sky. So again, just make sure your feet are nice and grounded and pointing forward, and then we'll go into our last flowing movement. And first, just connect the palms of your hands to the sky. We just worked on that earth energy. Now let's face them to the sky. Just let your hands float up and then float back down your midline right in front of you. Inhale through your nose as your hands float up, nice and soft. Exhale through your nose as your hands float down. You'll notice in Qigong that we have a lot of expansive movements, particularly with our arms. And these movements have an impact on our hormones. And move the lymphatic fluid around. These movements can make us feel more powerful and confident. And in traditional Chinese medicine, there's an imaginary organ called the triple warmer, which we're working on here too. So the organs of circulation, assimilation, and elimination. Those 3 things. We're just working on harmonizing all those fluids that sit together in our bodies and work together. So just bring your attention to the fluids in your body as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Everything working together naturally. Keep your eyes open as you inhale. Close your eyes and go inside as you exhale. Gather the energy you want. Bring that into your body and clear. This exercise, this movement is said to be good for high blood pressure. You can imagine everything sort of settling like a snow globe and slowing down. It works really nicely to do before bedtime as well. Sometimes they call it pulling down the shades. Really nice finishing movement for a routine or for your day. Again, keeping your hands really soft, moving with chi. Just one last deep inhale through your nose. Slow, complete exhale through your nose. And now bring your feet together. Hands on your lower belly. This is called bamboo in the wind. So just imagine that you're a fresh green shoot of bamboo. And just allow your body to move with internal energy that you may be sensing spiraling through the container of your body. Just allow everything to move naturally. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. And take this sense of wholeness. The 5 elements, the 5 organs, the 5 emotions, the 5 colors. Just working with a generative cycle of metal to water, water to fire. Metal to water, water to wood, wood to fire, and fire to earth. And then earth back to metal, round and round. A wonderful, easy, simple structure that really talks to the whole of our physical, emotional, and mental human selves. One last deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. And we've now come to the end of our practice. Thank you for practicing with me. Enjoy.